Antonella. Hello, folks. Hello, this is Jay here. This is part 8 on freelancing. So I've been doing this series for a while now. So some of you might be following me along with these sessions for some time now. Those of you who are coming in late, all the sessions are there on YouTube and in the website as well. So you can check that out. So, where did we stop last time? So previously, previously, we discussed in the previous session, the session is available on YouTube. We talked about, obviously I've been speaking about Upwork and everything. So we talked about Upwork Connects, we talked about communication etiquette with your clients and customers and everything. So that happened, that is what we did last time. Now today, I want to speak about something which I like to call sort of like a soft sell, like how do you build an impression? Sorry. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what I just got lodged in my throat. Sorry. All right, then. I hope that was the last of it. So, so there are many ways in which, we've been talking about how as a beginner freelancer, how you can make a good impression to your clients, because every small thing helps. Now, for me personally, those of you who know me from before, I've been freelancing since 2012, and I don't have a job or anything. So I don't do freelancing as a side hustle. Freelancing is my main hustle. So this is what I depend my life on, right? So everything I tell you is from personal experience. And what I've noticed is my social media presence, okay, and my personal SEO always helps me all the time, around the clock. It's always trying to help me, like every session I wrap up, I always tell you that, hey, you know what? If you want to find me, you want to ask me a question or something, I always tell in every session, just Google my name. It is so easy. A lot of people, like, sometimes I get emails from all over the world. I'm not saying I'm famous or something, but sometimes I do get emails from people from all over the world and people who I've never met. And that is happening because of the social media presence and SEO. So when you're talking to a customer, whether you're a first-time freelancer or you've been doing this for 6 months, I hope some of you are actually taking my advice and started freelancing, in which case you'll be doing it for 6 months or something. So what happens is every time I speak to a client, a lot of clients want to know who you are, right? It's a very natural question. And you can tell them, you can explain to them who you are, right? But I always say, like, hey, you know what, guys? Just Google my name. And it has such an amazing impact on the clients, like for example, they can just go and Google and find out about me professionally, personally, and all those things. Okay, so that is the SEO. And then there's the social media presence. And again, you can go to YouTube and search my name. You'll see again a lot of videos that I've uploaded myself, videos from AIU, videos from other customers. So again, that is social media presence. Same thing on GitHub, same thing on LinkedIn, same thing on Instagram, same thing on Threads, social media, right? So that is what I want to speak about today. Whatever I have done, I always speak about what I have done. So hopefully, as always, you have your pen and paper to make notes and stuff like that. So hopefully today, I'll give you a list of things that you can do. And every now and then I talk about something, I'll tell you what I did, how I started. So that is what the session is going to be. And if there are any topics left over, I'll just continue to discuss in the next session as well. So let's get started, folks. Let's get started. What are the main things that I use? Again, it's all about me. I'm not trying to show off something, but I have to speak about the things that has worked for me in the last 11 years, so that you can trust me when I say that it has helped me. You know I speak from experience. So these are the four main things. So I hope you're making notes. Item number one, YouTube. Okay, some of this is obvious, because these things have been there for many years. Blogs and publications, podcast, and finally, portfolio. Okay, now I want to start by talking about YouTube. So now YouTube obviously is for me, or for a freelancer, especially someone like, again, I'm talking about as a software developer, a tutor, a life coach, a business coach. Now, I'm always talking to customers, like I'm always talking to students. I'm talking to you right now. So if somebody wants to hire me as a freelancer, they want to know who I am, how I look, how do I speak, and can they understand my voice? Now, these are the things that people are always looking for in a tutor. These are the things people are looking for in a business coach, a life coach. These are the things I do. So it's always nice if I, whenever I want to meet somebody, I tell them to Google me either on YouTube or directly on Google, and they can see who I am before they come for a discussion with me. So that is why YouTube is so important. And the good thing about YouTube is a lot of clients are beginning to expect that any kind of freelancer already has some amount of YouTube presence. I mean, if you're in the creative freelancing, then obviously YouTube is the best, but you don't have to be in the creative field to have a presence on YouTube. So what I would recommend as far as YouTube is concerned is go ahead. Again, this is where you start making notes. Step number one, go ahead and set up a YouTube channel. Now, when speaking of social media, I haven't put that in the slide, it just came to my head. You have to learn how to use Canva, my dear students. You have to learn how to use Canva. Now, Canva has a free version. Now, obviously, I'm a very old freelancer, so I have the Canva Pro version. So please trust me. Any kind of social media things, whatever I'm talking about today, you need to learn how to use Canva. I don't know if I made a session on Canva, but maybe I should do it in the future. So please go ahead and learn to use Canva. So please add that to the list. Okay, so whatever social media you're doing, please remember to use Canva. So coming back, so go ahead, set up a YouTube channel. The reason why I mentioned Canva is when you're setting up a YouTube channel, you have to upload a lot of images, banners, thumbnails, things like that. So all those things is very easy to create in Canva. So that is why I mentioned you must learn how to use Canva. Obviously, you can just go to the Canva website. There are probably a lot of YouTube tutorials on how to use Canva, but it's pretty straightforward. And the good thing about Canva is that it works fine on your mobile itself. But of course, as a freelancer, I hope I already spoken about it. You should have a laptop, preferably a Mac if possible, and you should learn how to use the computer to generate these things. So set up the YouTube channel. Now, one thing which I've spoken to whenever I do some private coaching and things like that for freelancers, they always say like, Jay, you know what? I've seen a lot of people start YouTube channels and then they forget about it because it's like a burden. What if I don't get any views? What if nobody likes my videos? What if I get dislikes? Again, see, that's the question, isn't it? You're not trying to become a YouTube star. You're not trying to become some kind of a YouTube brand. You're just trying to maintain a presence. A simple example is I like to play chess. Every day I play 1 to 2 matches. Sometimes when I have no work at all, I play 5 matches, 10 matches. I lose every time. All the time. I lose, 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 lose. I have a folder where I have put, Canva. I'm sorry, guys, Canva. Somebody's asking a question. Canva, guys. CANVA. 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 C for Charlie, A for Alpha, N for November, B as in Victor, A as in Alpha. Canva. Canva. You can find it in the App Store. Right, yeah. So, yeah, what I was saying. Yeah, example. So I've been playing chess for years and I've not gotten any better at it. But still, I play it because I want to feel like a chess player. And a lot of times it helps. It makes me feel a little bit smarter. Once in a while I get lucky. It doesn't mean I'm a chess master. It doesn't mean I'm going to become some chess player someday. Nothing like that. So similarly, just because you have a YouTube channel does not mean you have to chase views, you don't have to chase likes, nothing like that. Whatever freelancing you're trying to do, just make a video about it. Okay? If you are an artist, make a short video, maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 minutes. I have some videos on my channel which is like 1 hour, 2 hours. And there are some videos which are like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So it depends on my mood. So there you go, just record whatever it is that you do. So I'm a teacher, so I record myself teaching and I just upload it. Sometimes I upload 5 videos in a month and sometimes I don't upload any videos for like 6 months. It's okay, it doesn't matter. So that is what I'm trying to tell you guys. So if you're a freelancer, whatever freelancing that you do, just go for it. Go ahead, set up a YouTube channel. If you don't even have a computer, again, you can't do freelancing anyway if you don't have a computer. So you have to have a computer. So use it, make the most of it. Even a basic computer has like a camera on it. Record what work you do and just upload a video. Don't worry about how professional looking it is, or how dull looking it is, how sad looking it is, or how great looking it is. It doesn't matter. Just go ahead, maintain a YouTube channel. It really helps. Okay, and you know what? When you start doing it, it'll be very challenging, but over time, you will become better at it. So your videos will also slowly get better. And the best part is, whenever you meet a client, you can tell them, hey, you know what? Before you meet me, like, you fix a meeting for a video call or something, or you can just tell the client, like in the chat or email, hey, you know what? I have a YouTube channel where I talk about my art. Can you please check it out? That might help get a good impression, or someone might see your YouTube video and hire you based on that video. So for me, the biggest thing a freelancer can do in terms of maintaining a social media presence is really the YouTube thing. Now remember, don't worry about likes, don't worry about views, nothing like that. Okay, so go ahead, set up a channel, upload whatever it is that you do. Okay, don't worry about it. It's mainly to show people what you're capable of. And also, the best thing, another thing I like about YouTube is that a lot of times what I do is every year, every 6 months, I'll go back to my old videos, see what I was doing, and then I'll make some notes about how much I have improved this year, what else I can improve next year, and things like that. And another cool thing that happened is I started a YouTube channel as a hobby, and then some of my customers, they started seeing those videos, and then they started hiring me to make videos for their customers. And I'm telling you something, if you learn how to make decent videos, it is a lot of money. So I never wanted to be in the video making business, like the video tutorial business. I like to talk, teach, live sessions. But then somebody saw my YouTube video, and then they're like, hey, you know what? I like the way you record. Why don't you go ahead, record some 5 to 10 videos about this topic, another videos about this topic. And I made a lot of money as well. So I'm also a video producer now. This just happened accidentally. So you never know where this something that you started for something else becomes another profession entirely. So maybe if you're an artist and somebody comes and says, like another artist, hey, you know what, I like the way you shoot those videos. Can you make such videos of me? And then they can just, something can work out there. So that's the main thing, first step, go ahead. That should be on an agenda. Set up a channel, upload a video when you can, and then just let it roll. And and then as I told you, whatever you put on YouTube gets linked to Google. So Google is obviously the world's best platform, right? Everybody uses Google. It has like some 95% Google market share. So once you have something on YouTube, Google picks it up. So when people search your name, it links you to YouTube as well, and YouTube links to Google. So both of them working together. That is why I say, this is so easy. And it works forever, like till I die, this is gonna work for me. So long-term benefits as well. Okay, so that's the first thing about YouTube. And if you have any questions, make a note of it, put it in the chat. I know the session is for 1 hour, 45 minutes is for me to talk and tell you things. And the 15 minutes it sounds simple, but when you start doing it, yeah, there's something I want to mention. Usually for me, if I'm making like, let's say 1 hour of YouTube video, it takes like almost 4 to 6 hours. And I have my own recording studio in my home office. So I have lights, I have camera software, editing software. I have big computers, like gaming computers, like very expensive gaming computers. But when I started, I didn't have all these things. Okay, when I started, those of you who want to see, you can Google me and you can check my videos. The first video from many years ago, it was so bad, but then slowly, it became more and more professional quality. And now people are paying me money to make those videos. So there you go, okay? So you don't need to have a video studio like how I have, but start slow, and as you become good at it, you might build your own studio. I don't know, but very important. YouTube, very important for your freelancing career, okay? It has made my life so easy. Okay, now this is another thing. Now, there are many people who will say, okay, and it may be true as well, because I don't think it's true for me, but it may be true for other people. A lot of people think blogging is not cool. I mean, there are people who say even YouTube is not cool. YouTube is for old people, like how people say Facebook is for old people and stuff like that. But anyway, for me, in my experience, blogging is very useful in the business world. Maybe it is not that useful in personal life, it's not cool anymore, and things like that. But my friends, my students, blogging is very active, very useful for the business world. People still read a lot. And the best part is video, you just watch and forget. But when people are reading, they read properly, they make notes, and they actually remember who wrote it and stuff like that. So blogging and publication, I've been blogging regularly, again, since 2012. Now, when it comes to blogging, the question I get whenever I do a session like this, I do sessions like that in India here, and private clients and stuff like that. The first question always comes, Jed, where should I blog? What is the best option for me to blog? What is the best option? That's what it says. And I will tell you a couple of options. Again, I hope you have your pen and paper ready. That is where you need to start. Option number one is a medium. Maybe I should type it on the screen. Okay, hold on. Let me just. Yeah, there you go. Let me just create a new slide right here, because last time someone said Canva, they didn't understand. Let me just mention that here on the slide. I thought that was easy to remember, but now I know maybe some folks. This is the software I was talking about, Canva. You need to learn how to use Canva to use social media, like very important. Now, when it comes to blogs, I give you two options, very popular. There is a blog website called Medium, and second option is Substack. And there is a third option. I think everybody knows about this. So let me just go ahead and yeah. So three options for my students. First option is Medium. Second option is Substack. I put the spelling there. I understand some might be finding it difficult to perform. I'm sure my pronunciation is not that good. And finally, WordPress. Three options. Now, one option which I think has become really dull is WordPress. I don't recommend WordPress anymore. I mean, WordPress is where I started. I started blogging somewhere in 2006, like as a hobby, not freelancing. That was in 2006. I think I started in WordPress. It was okay back then. But now, for the last 5 years, the best website for blogging is Medium. Okay, so that is the best place for any freelancer. It's not, you don't have to be a writer to blog. Try to understand how you don't have to be a YouTuber to have a YouTube channel. You don't need to be a writer to run your own blog. You just be yourself. If your English is bad, who cares? These days you have AI, check your grammar and all those things. And a lot of times it's your own blog. If you want, you can even generate some content from AI, but don't put 100% AI content. Don't do that. Maybe take help from AI. 30%, 40% take help from AI. Okay, don't do 100% AI. But then you are not writing it. You don't have any contribution. It doesn't help you. Okay, take help from AI, but don't replace hard work with easy AI tricks. That's not cool at all. Anybody can tell that you're just fooling around. So anyway, so option number one is Medium. That's where I blog most of my time. So whenever you Google my name, usually my popular blog post will come in the first page. And why is, and second option is Substack. Okay, now Substack is like, now as I told you, WordPress, forget about it. Forget about WordPress. Don't use it. Don't use it. Start with Medium. That is the one which is like really good. I like it. I've been using it for some 5+ years now. Second option I'm going to give you is Substack. Now, why do I say that? See, there are many reasons for it. One thing is, I don't want to put all my things in one company. So I want to have a backup if something goes wrong. So like 80% of the time I'm blogging on Medium, but 10%, 20%, I blog in Substack. Just in case, just in case. It's like, yeah, I told you guys, I think in another video, in my home office, I have some, I think 3 or 4 computers. Okay, and in my main home, in my garage, I have another 3 computers. I like to have backups. Okay, so same thing here. So I'm blogging a lot. I have a lot of content. What if something happens to Medium? I don't know. I'm just scared of it. So there you go. That's 2 good options for you: Medium and Substack. If you want to choose one, then go with Medium. Very easy to use. Very easy to use. Okay? Don't use WordPress. I'm saying it. Okay. So these are 3 options for blogging. Now, there is some things you need to remember. Okay. Now I can't go too deep into blogging, but I can give you some general tips. And this is based on common questions that I get from workshop that I do for freelancing. First thing is, Jay, what should I write? Write whatever you want. Write about your freelancing. Like for example, like a lot of times, like let's say I'm taking a session on, say, C# for a high school or something. Then that day I'm taking a session, I'm talking to the students, and something happens, some question comes, some important question. And then I feel like, okay, that discussion was very interesting. So after the class is over, before I go to bed, I log into Medium, and whatever I discussed in the class, that interesting question, I just write about it. 100 words, 200 words, sometimes 500 words, sometimes 1,000 words. Sometimes I've written like really blog, which is like 5 parts, 6 parts, like 5,000 words, almost like a mini book. It's okay. All right, that's how it is. You're working on something, you get an idea, you think there is something new, just write it down and then put it on Medium, put it on Substack. If you like WordPress, then go ahead, use WordPress. It doesn't matter. So that is what I'm telling you. So you don't have to wait and say, hey, you know what, Jay, I'm gonna write about this. No. Let your life naturally happen. And as your life goes, you will get ideas. Whichever you think is good, write about it. Simple. A lot of times I get an idea, I start writing about it, and I think it will be better as a video. So what I do is I write an article, and then I make a video also and put it on YouTube. So and then I put a link in the article for YouTube, and then I put a link on YouTube to the article. Now both of them are helping each other. So those people who want to read, they can read my blog. And those people who want to watch, they can read my Video. See, very nice. That's called synergy. The whole thing about social media presence is all these things are linked with each other. Okay, and that's when you get the ideas. And the second thing is, okay, now this is again I told you. Now, as I mentioned, if any newspaper article you read, anything, like somebody win the match or something happened, whatever, what do you see? At the top, somewhere in the middle, and sometimes in the end, you'll have some photos, you'll have some drawings, you'll have some art. So if you're taking my advice today, now remember, you don't have to do all these things. Okay, I'm sure you don't have the time to do all these things. Maybe not today. Maybe you start with YouTube and then go ahead to writing articles next year or after next month. But anyway, whatever you start, whenever you start, blogging needs images. So important. Now the next question is, Jeff, where do you find the images? Now, I like this website called Unsplash. I'm gonna type it here because I know one of the students, they're finding it difficult to understand when I say stuff. So the website is called, hold on. So I'm gonna say images, okay? You can get the images from Unsplash. I hope you guys are making notes there. Next thing is, I get a lot of images from Wikipedia. People don't, always underestimate Wikipedia. I hope the spelling is correct. Wikipedia. I think that's right. And of course, don't forget AI art. You can use, I use Bing image creator. I don't know if I did a session on AI art or how to use AI. I think I did it once, but I think it was about something else. Anyway, so you can also use AI art. So let me resume the slideshow. So there you go, folks. So if you are watching this video and you're like, what, Jay, videos might take me some time, or maybe you're not comfortable with the camera. Yeah, that's again, it can be a serious issue, right? Like especially for women, freelancers. Maybe you don't want to record yourself. And I mean, cultural reasons it could be, maybe safety reasons. I don't know. So maybe video is not an option for everybody, but writing is an option for anybody. So there you go. So go ahead. You have your idea. You know how to type. You know where you can publish, and don't forget to put some images. You can get the images from Unsplash. You can get the images from Wikipedia. And if you think you're not getting the images that you want from these two places, these days you have AI, and the one I use is called Bing Image Creator. It's free. I have the pro version, but the free version is just as good. Okay, Canva as an image creator. I don't know if that is free though. I'm not sure. Adobe has an image creator, but I believe that is also like a paid one. But right now, the Bing image creator is free, and I'm sure if you Google, there may be other free options to create art as well. But of course, you have Unsplash. You get a lot of free images there. Wikipedia again is always free. So there you go, my dear students. So if you're gonna get into blogging, which I think is the easier option, because YouTube videos takes a lot of effort, you will not be able to get all the things you want, So anyway, right there. So there you go. So make sure when you're writing blogs, content is important, photos are important. Okay, so that is where the whole blogging thing comes. So let's move on to the next slide here. Oh, that's not the next. Oh, okay, that was the next. All right. Okay, so the next thing I want to move on to is podcasting. This is actually kind of interesting because first I talked about videos, and that is YouTube, right? And I told you, I have my own recording studio and everything. That's great. That's one side of things. And the other side of things, I spoke about blogging, which is just writing things on your computer. Okay, you can write when you feel like, you can publish it. Nice. So you have videos, which is like face, audio, video, takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of time. You need to have a good computer, camera, and all those things. And then you have writing, which is writing. Some students have asked me, Jay, is there like a balance? Like, what if you want people to listen to you? Still like a live thing. Like they can experience. Like listening, right? It's like a but they also want to do content like an article, but without the complications of a video. Like for example, I remember this one time there was a female. She was not comfortable with her, using her face in the video. Cultural reasons, safety reasons, it could be anything. And then I'm like, okay, why don't you go to? But she didn't want to just focus on writing articles. She wanted something a little bit more like a balance. So that is where podcast is something I recommend. Okay, and then the best part is, with video production, you need a lot of investment. But with podcast, you just literally need a microphone. And even you don't need a expensive microphone and all that. Not at all. You can just buy a basic microphone, which I guess you can buy anywhere, for $10 or $20. Of course, if you have money, you should buy an expensive microphone. But if you don't have it, it's a basic microphone, or even just your headphones, that also has a microphone. You can use that too. And then you can use any recording software. Windows has built-in recording software. Apple has built-in recording software. I know some people who record their podcast just directly on their phone. So just go ahead. So podcast is kind of like you're writing an article, but instead of typing, you're just directly saying what you feel, and then you publish. So if you are let's say you are a tutor, like I'm a teacher, and I want to talk about programming. So let's say I can't make a video a lot of times. I will just take my microphone and record my thoughts about programming. Sure, why not? So that may be a good balance for you between, writing takes a time, guys. It takes a lot of time. And if you don't know how to type on the keyboard, a lot of people these days don't know how to type. So they take a really long time. So but then at the same time, they can't use video for any number of reasons. So that for them, a good balance is podcast. So you don't have to type, you start talking, but there's no video, so you can be yourself. So it's just your voice. And a lot of times in freelancing, clients, they just want to know how you can speak because your voice shows your confidence, how much you know about your knowledge and how experienced you are. So much can be understood simply with the voice. So there you go, my dear students. So if blogging, if YouTubing is too much and writing is too less and time consuming, then podcast is a good third option. Now, just like with writing, the question that comes up with podcasting is, Jay, where do we publish the podcast? Now, this is where things get a little bit complex, guys. Maybe I should do a session on podcast. I don't know. Okay, but hopefully you'll understand what I'm trying to tell you. Now, where are you going to publish your podcast? So again, I'm going to mention it here. Let me just create a new slide. So if those of you are interested, this is where you want to go. So to do a podcast, what I use, I can only speak about what I use. So I actually use WordPress. Now I know I told you don't use WordPress, but WordPress is still useful for other business reasons, not for blogging. Okay, so WordPress can do other things as well. So I have many WordPress sites that I use for my own business. I talked about this, I think, in one of the earlier episodes. WordPress has an option for you to publish your own podcast. So that is option number one. Okay. Now, the second option, and you know what? I actually don't recommend this, even though I use it. I think it's a little bit advanced step. Okay, but I use it. I think I just put it there in the slide, but I use it since 2020. Yeah, I've been using podcasting with WordPress since 2020, but I don't recommend it for newcomers. That's what I'm trying to say. It's very good, but it's for experienced podcasters. Okay. Now, what is the easier option? The easier option that I can give you is Substack. Remember Substack? I mentioned this when I was talking about article writing, blog. Same Substack also can be used. I'm going to put it in bracket recommended for beginners and experienced people also, but I'm just going to say beginners right now. So let me just make this. It's gone to the top. Let me just make, there you go. All right, let me just make that smaller, guys. It's become too big. Hold on, there you go. Much better. Yeah. Okay. Slideshow. Front page. Okay. So just like how blogging, I gave you two options for podcasting also. I recommend Substack for beginners. But yes, if you're experienced and if you want something a little bit more complicated, but still really nice, I also recommend WordPress. So I use both of them. I have 2 podcasts on Substack, and I have 2 podcasts on WordPress. So I use them both. Now, that's not the main thing though. Now, you have to understand that this is the most important step. I mean, all the steps are important, but some steps are more important. So please understand that once you publish your podcast, you have to submit podcast to Apple Podcast. Very, very important step. Okay. So again, I don't have the time or anything to explain to you how the process is. You'll have to check some online tutorial or Apple website or something. You don't need to have an Apple product to do this. You can just do it from any company, but you have to do it. Very, very important step. You know, people don't realize this. When you create a podcast, please understand, you know how like, okay, right, yeah, so headphones, right? So whenever you want to listen to music without disturbing others, you have to use a headphone. So headphone is like a standard for listening to music with privacy, right? Similarly, in the podcast world, okay, Apple Podcast is like the standard. So anybody who has a podcast, once their podcast is ready, they have to submit the podcast to Apple Podcast website, get it approved. It's all automatic, and it's not like, oh, Apple is going to reject it. Nothing like that. Just go and submit your details, and that's it. Usually, like 3 to 7 days, sometimes very fast. The podcast will get approved in Apple Podcast, and once it is approved on Apple Podcast, you can open any podcast app of any brand anywhere in the world, and your podcast, you can search for it, and people can listen to you speak, and so on and so forth. Okay, so there you go. So if you're gonna go down the podcast, remember what I told you. You don't have to do all the things that I'm talking about today. Those of you who are comfortable with writing, go ahead, write. Those of you who are comfortable doing podcasting, especially if you have a nice voice, if you have a nice communication, it's always good to let people see how you sound. Go with the podcast. Third option, if you are really comfortable with your face showing up in video, if you're okay with getting recorded, and if you can afford, I mean, of course, you don't really need a video studio and stuff like that, but eventually you need to buy all the main things. But anyway, so yeah, so you don't have to do all these things. So just do whatever you can afford to do. Things have to be practical as well. So anyway, that's about the 3 main things. You have your YouTube, and I said Canva. Don't forget to use Canva. Writing, right? And obviously the podcast. Don't forget the important stuff about Apple Podcast and things like that. Now, before I have 45 minutes, so I still have 7 minutes. So last thing I want to talk about for the next 7 to 10 minutes is I want to talk about portfolio, right? See, the idea is, especially when you are a new freelance, okay? Some of you may have started freelancing after I started these sessions. I think I've been doing these sessions at least once a month, so it's been at least 8 months, I think. So if any of you took my advice, then you would be at least 6 months by now. Hopefully you're having some success. Some of my advice was useful, I hope. So portfolio is where you get to showcase what you're capable of to your client. Yeah, that's what a portfolio is. Like for example, you know how like there's movies like Jurassic World or something. You may have seen it. There's Jurassic World, and then there was Jurassic World Part 2, and then there was Jurassic World Part 3, which came last year, I think, last year or the year before that. That movie director, before he got this big budget movie, he made a very low budget movie in his home. He did everything, the special effects, all those things in his house without any help. He made a movie which has nice sequences, and then somebody saw it on YouTube or art festival or something, and then he was selected by Hollywood to make big movie like Jurassic World. See, that is the power of the portfolio. So when you are a freelancer, now what happens is like an experienced freelancer like me, I don't have to worry about a portfolio. I mean, I do have a portfolio, but I don't have to worry about a portfolio because I have done so much work. I have so many views, references, and all those things, experience letters, recommendations, and all those things. So I don't really need a portfolio because I already have everything to show. But when you are new, you don't have reviews, you don't have references, you don't have experience letters, you have nothing, you have no proof. So portfolio acts as your proof that you can do something. So that is what a portfolio is. Now, why am I talking about portfolio today when I'm talking about social media presence? Now, the reason is I have met many freelancers who are really talented, like they have a really nice portfolio, but they don't have a good, what do you say? They don't have a good social media presence. Like their stuff is not there on YouTube, their stuff is not there on blogs, their stuff is not there on podcasts. So people can't find it. So you have to build a portfolio. So that is very, very important. And then you use your social media channels. Now today I only spoke about the social media channels that I use. This is just the ones I use. There must be so many more social medias out there. Instagram, I haven't spoken about it. TikTok, again, people use it. Okay. So there are so many different social media channels, guys. So go ahead and use any one of them which you like. Pick the one which I recommended as well, and then showcase your portfolio. But before you can showcase something, you have to build it, and it can be very frustrating. Like when I was younger, and I was trying to do freelancing, I wouldn't have money. I didn't have enough computers. I didn't have any other things. And still, I had to sit and do all these portfolio projects. Sometimes in software, even a simple portfolio project takes like a month or 2 months. So for 2 months, you're doing something, hoping that somebody will see it, and then they will hire you. So building a portfolio takes time. But the good thing is, once a portfolio code is ready, you can use it for the rest of your life. Whatever you've done, it won't get lost. But the main thing is, whatever you build, whether it is small, big, complex, if you have your social media channels ready, then immediately you can share it with the world. You can share it with your client. Like I told you, like I started making YouTube videos just for fun. And then one day this guy comes and says, Jay, I like the way you speak. Can you record some videos for my company? And he said he wanted some samples. And I'm like, hey, I have a YouTube channel. It doesn't have any views. It doesn't have any subscribers. I think it has like 100 subscribers. But it doesn't matter. I sent him some 3-4 videos which I have made, and he liked it, and immediately I got a nice big order for making videos for his tutoring company. So there you go, guys. So if you have a portfolio and it is shared on these social media channels, it makes getting hired so easy. So anyway, guys, that is my that is my story today. So just to summarize that, so social media presence, okay, very important. And as I told you, you do all these things, and slowly, when people search your name will come on Google. So nice, right? So 4 options. First option, my best favorite option is YouTube. Don't forget to learn Canva. Okay. Second option, and again, I like all of them, guys. I've been doing it for 10 years plus. Blogs and publications. This is not for everybody because many people don't know how to type and write these days. So if you can't do it, it's okay. Don't worry about it. But if you can do it, I'm happy for you. Uh, these are the options you can use. Images, oh my God, don't forget images. And yeah, if blogging is not your cup of tea, try podcasting. It's easy to do, investment is less. But main thing is, remember where you can publish your podcast. There are other places where you can publish podcast. I'm just showing you where I'm doing it right now. And finally, don't forget to submit it to Apple Podcasts. Now, how to do it, please find a tutorial online. I think I have written a tutorial myself somewhere. I don't know. It must be there. If you Google it, you'll find it. Finally, portfolio. Build your portfolio, but more importantly, as you build your portfolio, go ahead and share it on social media. All right. So those are the things, guys. So that is all the stuff I have for you today. If there's any specific topics I should go deeper into, I discuss with the campus and try to make that a session in the future. So go ahead, folks. If you have any questions, I believe AFDG is online. So if there's any questions, I can take it.
Yes, if any of you have a question, you can use the hand reaction or leave a comment in the chat.
Okay. I think they may have sent it on this. Okay. I think I already answered Jennifer's question about the Canva. Oh, it looks like it was appearing as Canva, sorry. Guys, the presentation is shared with your college people, so I think you'll be able to get a copy of it from them. I've already shared a copy with them. Lillian, yes, I am on the road. I'm traveling with my mom for a religious visit. So we are in a nice apartment, but it seems like, yeah, I'm sorry about it. AFDG, that's all the questions I have. If there are no other queries.
We have a question from Lumbari.
Okay.
Let's see what they have to say.
Do you want to unmute it or do you want me to do it?
Hello.
Hi, I can hear you.
Oh, Jay, how are you?
I am good. I apologize if I do not recognize. I don't see a face or anything, so sorry.
Okay. I have just the small question here. The last time you spoke, that you said that you're gonna come back with the AI. I mean AI. So that is fine. So I tried to open the blog. That blog is so I tried to open it, but I'm not getting to it, like to open it nicely, so that I can go do my freelancing. So I don't know if you have another way. So and most of them they are just like you have to pay for it. You understand? So there is no free like
you are trying to do blogging.
yes, like blogging, yes. To open one like for myself, but then I'm not winning until now.
Let me show on the screen. Like you said something about it. No, there's no need to pay. These are all free service like Facebook. I'll just show you. Like, let me show on the screen if that makes it easier. So hold on. 1 second. So right there. So like what I recommended is this one. So this is what I use. So there you go. You can see my name there as well. So it's a very free service. Just go to medium.com and you can open any number of blogs. I think you can see on my screen, I have 1, 2, 3 blogs. So just create an account, create as many blogs as you want, and publish as many things as you want.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I
Also,
thought it's
well, just one sec. Just one sec. I'll just finish my just so if you want, you can go to this also Substack. Again, there also I have an account, and you can see I have again 1, 2, 3 here also. So go ahead, continue. You're saying something. Sorry.
no. I was just like, yes. I didn't know because I went to Blogger, so that's what the blog
No,
is.
don't use that. I think nobody uses that anymore. So I don't know why, but I used to use Blogger like some 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So don't use that. I think even the company, I think Blogger or Google or something, they stopped maintaining it. So go with either Medium or Substack or WordPress.
So
Old school. But these things work.
all
And they
right.
look nice.
Oh yeah.
They look
Thank you so
modern,
much.
they have a nice layout. Yeah, they look cool, right?
Yeah.
Like this is my blog, so it looks nice, it has a nice, like a website. So again, so that's my headphone, that's my computer.
Oh yeah. That is
Right?
nice. Yes. Thank you so much. I will use the Medium then, so that I
There
think
you
that
go.
one is the
Try to use
yeah.
Medium, use Substack as well. Because if in case tomorrow you change your mind
Yeah.
and decide to go with a podcast, in Substack, you have an option to create a podcast and a blog at the same time.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for the answer. Thank you.
No problem. I apologize. I don't recognize your voice. So
I
I'm sorry.
can't. I'm trying to. I'm trying to put my phone, my face, but it's not showing me where to go to now.
Next time.
Next time. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Guys, any other questions? Let me know. I'm happy to. If there are no questions, I still have some time, so I can show a couple of things. Some of the AI tools that I use, which help me with social media and stuff like that. But if there are any questions, I will take it. Or if AFDG has any questions, I can take that as well.
I don't see any more questions, so you can go ahead.
Okay, guys, in that case, so I don't know, today, not many questions. Normally, there's so many questions, there's not enough time and stuff like that. So I have some free time today. So in that case, guys, so one more thing which I want to show you, or I will not show you, I guess I just had to talk about it, is, right, the YouTube channel, okay? Now, if you want to do the YouTube thing, I'm going to go back to the YouTube slide. So because I have time, let me go a little bit deeper into the whole YouTube process. All right, now how do I go ahead and make my YouTube videos? All right, now the first thing is, again, or if you're making notes, okay, now please understand that you will need some kind of a heavy investment if you're going to run and maintain a YouTube channel. Now, I know there are some people who get everything done on their phone. I don't think that is practical, so I don't think that is the way to go. So at a bare minimum, you must have at least a Mac. I'm sorry that becomes like a real essential thing. Okay, there's something called as, this may be a technical term. I'm gonna type it here just to avoid any confusion. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. So there is something called as a video encoding. Okay, so again, you can look it up after the session if you want. So what happens, my dear students, is that when you're recording the video has to be recorded and encoded. And that takes a certain amount of computer power, certain amount of energy. Now, if you are in the freelancing business where you can just record directly, like if you're a painter, then you can directly record it on your phone or something. But really, any kind of freelancing, you still need to record it And for that, you need a computer to process all these things. So yes, you would need a Mac, a bare, or a good Windows computer to be able to record the videos on your computer, like screen recording and things like that. Also, you would need a camera, right? I know it seems pretty basic, but you can use your built-in camera. What I do is I use the iPhone as my camera because it has a nice lens. Again, I know it's again pushing the price and everything. Even an old used iPhone has a good camera. You can just use that to get a nice visual and things like that. So if you're gonna get into the YouTube channel business, these will be your two biggest expenses. So I don't know how practical it is for a lot of people. I'm saying this because I have time. I have to fill the time. I have another 6 minutes, so I need to talk about something. But another thing is, as I mentioned, video production can be a lucrative business. So, the investment might be worth your time. And as I mentioned, any kind of freelancing these days happens on the computer. Okay, so I work as a teacher. So what I do is whenever I don't have any work, I'm also looking for clients sometimes. What I do is every day I have nothing else to do. I have time to kill. I get up, I come up with an idea. I have a lot of ideas. Sit down on my Mac, set up the video, set up the light and everything, and then go ahead, record a 30-minute or a 1-hour video about some coding topic. Something I learned new last week, something I learned new last year with a client, something, whatever new is coming up today, I read in the news, whatever it is, I sit down, I record a video, encode it, edit it, do all that stuff, use Canva, and then go ahead. By the end of the day, one day has been spent, I make a video, I put that on my YouTube channel. So that adds to my portfolio. So who knows, another client comes in, he sees that I put some new video, and then he goes ahead and hires me. So that really has a big impact, okay? Because they can see you, they can hear you, but it comes at a price. It does cost a lot of money to make videos. It also costs a lot of time. And I have an assistant helping me out with videos and stuff like that. So again, that is something which I don't know if you can get an assistant and stuff like that. So that can also be something to worry about. So if you're trying to go down the path of a YouTube channel, even if it's just to show your portfolio, even if it's just to use as a showcase, then please understand there is a significant amount of investment in doing so. And also, some people don't realize that when you start recording videos, you need to have like a large space to keep all your computers, the light, the camera, the stand, and things like that. So it is a big investment. So if I have to recommend you like a pathway of how to build your social media presence, then I would start. This is how I started when I was young. I told you guys I didn't have the kind of money I have right now, very poor and all that. So I started with blogging because I had a work computer. I have to have a work computer. I could write. So I would sit down, like today I do a video. In the olden days, what I used to do is I get an idea, I sit down, spend the whole day writing 2 or 3 articles. So that is what I would do. So start off with writing, but I know these days people can't write. Difficult, I guess. I come from the 90s. We wrote a lot. For me, writing is natural. But if you're not able to write, then go ahead, try podcast. For podcasting, you don't need any light systems. You don't need a Mac for it. A lot of times I podcast on my my basic Windows computer. So podcasting, you just need a microphone. You don't need an expensive microphone. Okay. Any computer will have a basic microphone, or $10-20, buy one of those standing microphone things. Go for it. Start talking about your work. It can be any kind of work. So if you can't write blogging, then go to podcast. Okay, setting up a podcast is easy. Use Substack, then submit your podcast to Apple Podcast. And once you have an experience, and don't forget, podcasting can also open up some voice audio work related opportunities. Sometimes I've been hired to do audio work because some people think my voice is nice. I don't know. So whatever you do can eventually help you make some money. I don't know what to say. Sometimes it sounds funny. Somebody's like, hey, Jay, your voice is nice. Why don't we record something with your voice and I'll pay some money? Anything can be freelance. I don't know. So anyway, so start with either blogging or podcasting. And once you have enough money, enough infrastructure, upgrade to video. Okay, meanwhile, all the time, build your portfolio. And eventually, you should have a decent career as a freelancer. Of course, as I always say, I don't know if I say it all the time, but I'm saying it now again. Freelancing should be a side gig, because I somehow ended up doing this as my main thing, which seems to be okay for me, but for most people, I don't think it's a good idea. So try to get a job as well, but use freelancing as a way to support your main income or while you wait for your main job to come through. So that's all. I'm not able to think of anything else. AFDG, I have 1 minute here, so let me see if there are any questions. Otherwise, I guess we can wrap it up, AFDG. Antonella.
Well,